Welcome everyone to Sysco Canada's virtual kitchen show. Well, first of all, I'm going to start opening these a little bit different nowadays. I'm going to say, I'm Jay Ashton. I'm the Business Resources and Brand Activation Manager for like the last, 40 shows. I forgot to mention who I am. So anyways, I'm here. I'm excited about today's show. I am super stoked. I guess I don't know if that's the right word to use, but very happy to have our next company on our show here. They have went over and above on today's show, and this is going to be amazing. So I'm going to get Chef to introduce everyone on the show today, and I'm going to bring everyone up here in a second, and then we're going to get right into this. I'm excited. So welcome everyone.
Jay, how are you?
Good.
Can you see me? Or did we
I can't see you, Chef, but
all right, let me see if I can fix that.
anyway, Shaker, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jay. Nice to see you. Great to be on your show.
Excellent. So we have McCain's today on our show, and they have went crazy on what they're going to do today. And we've got more cameras. It's like a full production studio. So, and then we got Shaker, the amazing millennial from McCain's. And, why don't we get into this while we're working on the cameras and stuff like that? And Chef is working it. There he is again. We're going to get Shaker, just talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing today and just a little bit about McCain's. And I'm going to pull up your amazing slides.
Sure.
Pretty cool. There they are. So Shaker, what are we doing today?
Sure. Thanks, Jay. Yeah. So thanks, Jay. So we put together some slides on what we see as getting together back in the game means, and the way we see the market right now is we see top three themes that are emerging. So one is, we call it menu fatigue. That's both at home and dining out, where consumers are they want newer ways to experience food. The second is sports is back, so it's a very good thing, and consumers are excited. So we just want operators to get ready and give consumers that experience. And the third one is part of the upsell, which is something that we want to speak about as well.
I'm excited about that because that is definitely an art in today's world.
It is when the consumer is seeking value and the whole market is moving towards one side. It's also the onus on the operator and the manufacturer to continue to innovate, and and that's why it's the art of the upsell. And there's also the overlying theme of off-premise, which is huge right now. So that's a theme that's underscores all three. That's a common thread that stitches together all three themes. And yeah, so that's what we have for today. That's what we want to talk about to our operators today, on how do they tackle and build better offerings, tackle menu fatigue for sports, and of course profitability and the art of the upsell. That's what we have, Jay.
Excellent. Well, that's great. So we have Chef back there. Chef, welcome, Chef.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us today, Jay. I'm hearing a little bit of echo, but we that. And then Chef Mark is now going to be my camera. So, can you hear me okay?
Yep. Excuse me. Yes, I can hear you better now.
It looks like it might be back on the game now. So. Okay, excellent. All right, so Shaker, thanks for kind of giving us the umbrella overview of what's going to happen today. And so, as we were talking over the last few weeks about what we wanted to bring to life in the show today, menu fatigue is certainly something that anyone that's got family members at home or small kids especially, they know about cooking meal after meal after meal. Right? We're kind of getting spoiled when we have to we get to leave home and go to work and maybe bring a sack lunch or eat out with friends or whatever, but having to cook 20 or 30 meals at home, and some people, I don't want this, I don't want the broccoli, et cetera, et cetera. We know that there's menu fatigue at home. We also know that people want to go out and eat. And so there's menu fatigue if you are going to places. We know operators are a little bit constrained by their pantries right now because no one wants to overextend themselves on their inventory. So the possibility is certainly real where you can see repetitive menus as you're out and about. So we wanted to show you a couple of things today that could be built upon. As an operator, in my day as an operator today, of course, that one box that's in your freezer or that one case that's in your refrigerator, you want to be able to use that in different ways across the menu. So the more bang for the buck you can get for that one item, the better off you'll be. So one of the things that we wanted to feature today is breaded cheese curds. And so while cheese curds are very popular across Canada right now, certainly showing up as toppings to put in, the idea of breading those and frying them so you get crispy, crunchy texture on the outside and then doing it with cheese on the inside is something that's still kind of coming along. In the U.S., the cheese belt states, so the Midwest and such, we see that a lot, but still making its way across Canada at this point. So certainly you could have fried cheese curds with a little dip on the side, very straight up, but is that going to differentiate you from your competition down the street? Probably not. So I wanted to show you a dish where if you're an operation that is serving chicken wings, you're already familiar with the sauce and toss. So why not use that cheese curd, toss a little sauce on there, and then serve it up. So Chef Ron is working the fryer camera back there. Actually, he's working the fryer, and the fryer camera is there. He's cooking up some fresh cheese curds for us right now. There you are. They're about to come out. So this first dish is going to be a Korean style. So what I did was take Thai sweet chili sauce and then a little bit of kimchi, puree those together. So I've got that right here in my cup. And so we'll kind of coat the cheese curds with that a little bit. Then we'll sprinkle on some sesame seeds and some scallion threads just to give it a really nice visual on the plate. And this is something that's a really quick pickup. The cook time on those cheese curds is about 2 minutes, so really fast to drop those and then get them on out to the table and such. And then we're going to pivot into like a new wave of nachos, if you will, and use pita chips and the cheese curds as a topping ingredient. So of course, right now, shareable dishes might be a no-no in some places. So maybe the idea of an unshareable shareable. So, and that's a term that Chef Mark coined. He's on camera 3 here today. So if you need to make that shareable dish into smaller plates and then serve those up, so people kind of still get the idea of that shareable, or if it's people that are dining with people that are in their bubble in their tiny groups and such, and they feel comfortable with like little mini tongs at the table where they can serve themselves, then that's cool. That's the way to approach it as well. All right, so as soon as the cheese curds get here, I'll toss through those dishes. Shaker, any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on shareable dishes, cheese curd, menu placements or anything these days?
Oh, the shaker's muted.
Did you mute him, Jack?
Sorry, my bad. My bad. Shaker, I'm so sorry.
No, Jay. You have the control. That's fine. So, yeah, clearly. So, on menu fatigue, we've compiled our thoughts in 3 baskets. So what we're saying that is the consumer wants to create the out-of-home experience indoors, and to Chef's point on how do they amplify their meal experience indoors when they order outside. So that's when cheese curds travel fairly well. So that's to Chef's point. We also know that 1 in 5 consumers cite limited menu options as one of the most inconvenient aspects of ordering food. So they want a larger variety, while operators want to reduce the number of items. So we're calling it fewer items but newer items, or a newer way of showing existing items. We also know that consumer appetites change in as little as 5 trips. And what we're saying over here is if the consumer comes to your restaurant for the first time, they have certain expectations. By the time they come the fifth time, their appetite has already gone through an entire cycle. It's changed, and they want.
5 times,
Yeah. So if you have a consumer who orders with you once a month, that means every time they come to you, 4.5 to 4 weeks or 5 weeks, you have to have something new. And it's often not about the new part, but it's about showing the same things differently. And that's what we have today, where Chef has got some great ideas on how we want to show uh, stuff that's there, but in a new and fresh format to keep the excitement going.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Baker, is that number in relationship to the COVID world we live in right now? Is it 1 in 5 or is that smaller?
Exactly. That's with the COVID number. Yeah.
Wow.
So COVID has got a huge, yeah. So COVID has got a huge impact, and what we are seeing is that what happened in 2008, 2009 is operators who innovated, they were able to sustain and ride the wave in a more sustainable manner.
So
Uh,
innovation, I saw a thing this morning, is still huge right now. And if
ex-
anything, it's going to continue to be big as we move forward.
exactly. You hit it on the head. Yeah. Innovation is the name of the game right now, because we
Wow.
want to get that new experience to consumers, because they are waiting to get back in the game.
Well, it's interesting because I have also done a lot of talks lately around the experience for diners or for even takeout. There's an experience through the whole takeout model.
Yeah.
Are you offering like these cheese curds would be a great thing as a surprise that goes
Yeah.
in your takeout meal, right?
Yeah.
You get your takeout bag and all of a sudden you open it up. I know one location that I was dining at, I'd open it up and I was excited. I knew after the first time you always get a surprise. But I ordered because I was like, oh, I got to get the surprise dish that I got with the takeout. And the kids
Yeah.
ate it up and loved it. But it wasn't, it was that experience that was changing up my
Yeah.
choices where to go, right? And I think that's
Yeah.
very good that you bring that subject up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do
And
you think menu fatigue is going to even get more irrelevant, like more relevant as we move into the fall?
I think so. I think so, because there are two parts to it. One is cooking at home, and consumers are tiring of you know cooking the same stuff again and again. So we know baking had peaked. We know purchase of appliances that cook exotic stuff had peaked. It's
Mhm.
been 3 months since that happened, right? Uh, so that part is evolving. Uh, we know that pizza took off initially, but is
Yeah.
slowly tapering down. So we see that happening there. And with dining out, consumers want to be, you know, they want to be drawn out of their, uh, you know, COVID zone, so as to speak. So that's where this will play.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna find Chef. Where is he?
You lose me
Chef,
again.
we lost you. We lost your
I think,
camera again.
I think my camera keeps going into standby mode. Mark, would you mind being the camera over there? Or maybe it's
Yeah, I
dropping off.
can see Chef Mark.
Yeah.
Here comes Chef Mark.
All right. Step more to the
There he
rescue.
is.
There we go. Hey, excellent.
Hey, that
So,
looks awesome.
Wow.
Look at all the work
good.
you've done.
So we're gonna put a little of these cheese curds right here into a mixing bowl, and then put in some of that sauce. Which again, if chefs, cooks are used to the sauce and toss from a wing standpoint. And then I always like to put a little cabbage down in the bottom. A, it provides a little friction so things don't slip around while the server is taking it to the table. And B, it gives it a little bit of lift on the plate or in your serving dish to give it some nice height. And then kind of the Korean style flavor here, bring in some toasted sesame seeds, which are going to stick to that glaze quite nicely, and then some scallion threads. And I'm going to
Hey,
set this up.
Chef, how old are these? These are brand new, right? These are fairly new.
They're fairly new, yeah. So this was going to be part of our food show rollouts this spring, but obviously COVID. So we're back. We're back to promoting them right now. So Chef Mark can step in there a little bit. That's awesome. So that's
This
our
is
Korean
cheese,
style cheese curd. So
cheese curd.
yeah, very good. So crispy crunchy. We're going to set this right off over to the side. That shot. So, all right.
All right,
Next to the
Shaker,
cream.
what are we? What's our next conversation here? Let's move to that side, number 2. If I can move slides here. You sure today is not Tuesday? It's a Monday. Chef, do you want to go back to you? You got something there. What are you cooking there?
So this is the cheese curds used as a topper on a pita. So basically new wave nachos, if you will. So the cool thing about this from a pickup standpoint in the kitchen is you can have these, whether it's a plate or a eighth cheese pan here, you can have these wrapped and stacked already. So all you have to do is put on the cheese curd and then add your toppings and such. So we got the cheese curds there. We got a little peri sauce. So we're going to add some heat, some nice color as well. These are almost going to be a kind of an upscale nacho or upscale cheese. Cheese white cucumbers, which is going to add a nice fresh note. It's going to be a great visual for you. Yeah.
I love cucumber. I love cucumber.
And then some radish slices too. So very different. Again, pop of color. Just makes it to just a bit more, not much more effort on the prep side, but just makes it really visually interesting dish. Brings a little bit of that light. And then a little garlic sauce to kind of cool down. So it's a garlic oil. Kind of cool down the peri sauce, and then just some cilantro on top of it. A little pop of color. Very cool.
That looks awesome, Chef. Thank you.
Thanks. We'll try to get the other camera back on while you're chatting with Shaker.
No worries.
Is he back?
Shaker, do you like those cheese curds? These look awesome. Oh, he's muted again.
That's where you see the competition in the slides, right? Because Chef has got such a nice plating style that it's always, it challenges the slide as well. So yeah, that's where the pressure comes from.
So let's talk a little bit about sports is back. I've been watching a little hockey lately.
Yeah. So this is something we're really excited about, and what we are seeing is the more things change, the more they remain the same. And where we are coming from here is that consumers are seeking, the familiarity. They want normalcy to continue, and that's where sports helps, right? It helps bringing that sense of, okay, the old times are back, excitement is back. We want to have something new to talk about, and that's where sports are back. And when we think of sports, it's all about snacking. What do they want to snack? So then you have the habitual snacking, which goes along with alcohol. So food has got a huge relationship with sports, and it's the typical evening to late night kind of day part that we're looking at. And of course, the value that underscores the entire sports scene is, bring people together to share moments of joy. And that's essentially what our solutions are all about. How does food bring people together and help them share moments of joy? And that's where we talk about the unshareable, shareable, and how do we mix that in. Yeah.
Now, Shaker, you can get all these ideas from McCain's, which you guys have millions of them, all from your guys' awesome website, right?
Yeah.
Really good. It's really good website, man.
Yeah. So our website is so this is a portal that we continuously update and keep upgrading with all of our products. We have the code information over there. We have information on what it takes to do an ideal takeout, ideal delivery. We also have a small booklet that operators can download on how they can help delivery, and that's exactly the product portfolio that we are seeing over there. So that's the snacks and starters product portfolio. So if we look at sports is back, these are all the items that consumers want to have with the beer, or while sitting in front of the TV or in a patio. These are typically the kind of items that do really well, and that's what consumer data says, that the curds, the straws, the onion rings. And that's the have you tried the avocado fry, Jay? It's
No, you know what? Surprised I haven't, but
you should.
I don't even want to. I don't. You know what, Shaker? This is just making me hungry. Because this, it's so good.
It's really good. It's really good. It's one of my favorite products. Yeah. and there's a lot of food science behind having the avocado green over there. So it's
Yeah,
very fascinating.
millennials love avocados, right? That's a
Yeah,
nice
yeah,
job, but yes, they do. Yes, they
they
do.
do. Yeah, yeah. And these products generally do really well in this occasion, and that's what we are seeing as consumers seek normalcy, as they seek familiarity, and the fact that sports and excitement is back. uh, we are seeing that stocking these kind of products with the new spin that chef will show you shortly. We're seeing that these products will really do well. Yeah, and yeah, you can zoom a little more, Jay, and we can ship some to you. But this is one of our most popular products. This
Oh,
the crispy avocado slices. Yeah,
beautiful. Great idea,
yeah,
though. Brilliant idea.
yeah,
Brilliant. Love
yeah,
it. Love it. Love it. Now let's see where Chef is. Where is he?
yeah, yeah.
There's Chef. Chef Mark. Chef, you
So I
back?
think they're putting together something really. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna need you.
Are you back?
I think I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. So Chef Mark's having to log in again, so it could be Wi-Fi, but he'll be back. I can see him up right now.
Oh,
There he
he's
is.
back.
That looks exactly like him. All right. So sports, yeah, sports are back right now, and although people may not be able to see a game in person, one of the challenges and opportunities for operators is how do they bring the ballpark into the restaurant? So one of the cool things that I ran across a couple of weeks ago is, excuse me, Buffalo Wild Wings is even outfitting their servers like ballpark vendors. And so, they've got them with suspenders. They're selling nuts and beers and delivering sealed mixed drinks and such, to the tables for the fans and such. So I don't know if they're pitching them across the dining room or upcharging significantly. Oh, there's Chef Mark. I can see you. Yeah. Or but it's about bringing that excitement into the restaurant as well. So the other thing about sports, from a kitchen standpoint, we know that game time means rush time for the kitchen. So any items that we can offer that can help an operator, prep up for the rush and sustain that initial burst and such is obviously beneficial to their operation. So our new Brew City spicy onion straws are an awesome item that can be batch cooked and held for an hour, maybe 2 hours, so almost the duration of some of the games and such. And that can help the kitchen get one step ahead or two steps ahead on prep for the big game. The other thing is onions are hot right now. Crispy, crunchy fried onions are showing up on QSR menus, especially as burger toppers all over North America. I almost think of it as the new bacon that's showing up. It's almost like table stakes now for a burger build because it does add extra texture. It can add extra flavor. Flavors can be amped up in there as well, but it's just becoming kind of the one thing to bring to the party now for the QSR. So really, in addition to Mark, there you are again. Anyway, so in addition to, we'll get to that in a second. So to show you those onion straws, here they are. We've already got some. These have been sitting for a while. So the great thing is you just leave them right on the line. It can be underneath. Oh, I got my Jay's hat on too. So we're all in. And so the great thing about this is, so we'll show you a burger here in just a second as a topper. But the cool thing is because these are already partially fried when they come into the back of the restaurant, they can go onto something like a flatbread pizza right out of the bag, and then go right into the oven and cook in the same amount of time as the other ingredients. So Chef Ron's going to slip this. And then it's not an extra step. Now you could put these pre-fried ones on at the end, but the idea here is that they cook into the cheese of the pizza and then kind of melts in, so it doesn't look like it's an afterthought. And again, one step of savings in the restaurant. So, as far as a burger, crispy, crunchy onion straws on top. We got our nice 80-20 beef blend burger, little bistro sauce here, McCain fries in the background. And then we're going to skewer that up. So very quick pickup for the kitchen. Again, adding texture. I'm going to hold it up a little bit. Adding texture, some height there. That goes through the dining room. Other guests are going to say, wow, what is that? I want one of those. Actually, I'll have two of those, I think. So.
Chef, how long do they stay crispy for?
These will hold ambient, so without a heat lamp, 3-4 hours without a loss of integrity. Because you think about it, the onion strip doesn't have like a lot of moisture. And so once you cook it for 1.5 to 2 minutes, you cook a lot of that out. So it's going to stay crispy with its coating and such on it.
Well, that's perfect for takeout, like for people doing
Exactly.
takeout and delivery and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This
And
goes
so
back
then,
to what we were talking earlier, Shaker, is just that whole idea. If I got a little container of those onion crisps as like a surprise in my takeout meal, I'd love it. It'd be just that extra over the top that restaurant had done for me. And Shaker's on mute.
again,
Yeah.
I think he's selectively muting himself.
I know. I think he's just like, I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to mute myself.
So the other cool thing about sports being back right now is that you got the opportunity to bring in, collective servingware, et cetera, et cetera. So here we've got our little ice cream hat, our Blue Jays ice cream hats, but we're going to serve tater tots and cheese curds in there. So the cool thing about the tater tots and the cheese curds is that you've got gooey, cheesy texture, and then you've got that super crunchy tater tots. They're about the same time. They don't cook at exactly the same time, but it's not too difficult for the kitchen to work through. But the interesting thing is, for an operator that's really looking to contain costs, because the tater tots are less expensive, they'll help bring down the cost of that dish. And then we're going to go out on a limb and kind of make this into a ballpark idea with some caramel sauce. So we always think of taters, especially tater tots and French fries, as things that they need a savory accompaniment. But actually, they're kind of an open or kind of a bland palate, and they can adapt to sweet things. So we were playing around with this dish the other day here in the kitchen, and this is Cracker Jacks that have been crushed up. And
Shut up.
And so, there's nothing better than a ballpark flavor like that. So you've got Cracker Jacks and caramel sauce, some cheeseburgers. You've got crispy, crunchy, salty, kind of potatoey, cheesy, sugary, peanutty, caramel. It all works in there together. So it's pretty cool. And so who wouldn't want to, have that show up at their table, along with their favorite cold beverage. So I'm gonna move it right over here.
Love it. Love it. I think my audio is back now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Shaker, do you know those hats were big in the 80s?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I used to get Sundays in those. I don't know if anyone remembers. But Shaker, you probably won't.
That was before my time, Jay. Sorry.
Yeah. That's sorry about that.
So we want Shaker, do you want to go first about the upsell, or do you want me to start off?
No, chef. Go ahead and I'll chip in. You can. Yeah, I love your hat.
All right. So, thanks. Missing seeing the Jays. So we know that if an operator has people dining on site and servers are there, then there are certainly suggesting to the servers, don't forget to mention appetizers, don't forget to mention beverages and desserts. They're always going to coach them, to increase their check average. It's much more of a challenge when you are processing online orders for curbside pickup or delivery through a third party, or if it's a phone-in order for someone to pick up from the counter service or something. So it's a different mindset for operators and how they approach the art of the upsell. If you are working through an online ordering system, you would just need to set it up so that right before the guest presses, the final completion, that one or two of your most popular or most profitable items could be suggested. Oh, did you want to add loaded French fries to that? Did you want to add chicken wings? Those kind of things. So it gives you one more chance to increase the check average. You wouldn't want to suggest too many things because then that could become a turnoff to the customer. So that's one way to If your guests are picking up, they're walking in to pick up from the to-go counter, you might be challenged at getting them to open up their wallets and add another thing right there, unless there's something that's quickly, it's a grab and go item where you just add it on quickly. Or the servers could say, hey, Nick, I noticed that you didn't order loaded fries or you didn't order chicken wings. Hey, next time don't forget to put that on. It's our specialty. It's our signature. Again, you're asking for that repeat business, on the next time they come back. And if you're processing phone orders, right by the telephone station, there's a note, and you say, hey, did you want to add or did you want to upsize or whatever? So again, you're coaching your staff to help increase your check average and bring those back around. So those are the kind of things. And so in terms of upselling and upscaling some of your offerings too, we have the option of a couple of new items from McCain as well. So you guys were talking about the crispy avocado slices, which we'll get to in a second, but we'll talk about the root vegetable medley. Actually, Chef Mark, you want to show the pizza right quick? Awesome. So that's the pizza coming out of the oven there with the crispy onions. So that is Swiss cheese, Gouda, Granny Smith apples, bacon, red onions.
You put apples on a pizza? That's awesome, Chef.
Kind of a European influence there. So.
I love it. You know what I really like, Chef, that you brought up, that I actually wrote down here? Instead of saying upselling, you're upscaling. I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it really, and it is a very sensitive area where a lot of operators are like, how do you do that? But I definitely know in takeout they sure upsell you when you're using third-party apps. Right?
Well, of course, operators have to determine whether some have taken on self-delivery with using their waitstaff and such, or whether they're going to pay for the third-party company to be their in deliverer. So, all right, so here is our root vegetable menu. So we've got parsnip, carrots, and beets, and this is a great visual. Crispy, crunchy pieces. Pickup time is pretty short, about 3 minutes on a quick one here. So if we were looking to just show those as really featuring the vegetable medley, then we could simply put that with a dip. So here we have like a cartoon and a little bit of every time. But to take it up to the next level, we're going to make a tidbit with this. And we're going to go back to our crispy curds. We'll add some of these down. So obviously, cheese curds on fries is not a new thing. It certainly swept its way out of Montreal and everywhere else North America over the last years. But the idea of adding freshly fried breaded cheese curds can be paid off. So talking about layers of texture. Texture is always something that operators should be thinking about. It's a way to get people interested in coming back to play. And open up some
Yeah, these look really colorful and nice, Chef. This delivers on a lot of platforms. Hold, color, health, crunch.
it's certainly can be a fall dish, but really we shouldn't limit it to just a fall. And then something very different here from sliced almonds. That's going to add more texture and crunch. Kind of going nuts here a little bit. And then some chives. Again, it's going a little bit more upscale. That's a really nice looking dish as far as the upsell and the upscale. I think that would be good.
Awesome, Chef. So Shaker, why is the crunch so important?
So we know that we were saying that how do they create that outdoor experience indoors, right? So and we know that the first bite that consumers want, that's got to be crunchy. That's got to deliver on the taste. and that's where we focus on hold time, we focus on crunch, and that's largely for the off-premise experience to lengthen the dining experience to off-premise. That's where it's important. To your earlier point, Jay, on we know that check averages off-premise are significantly higher. So, and that's where it's more important for operators to say that, hey, consumers are paying more. Uh, so let me capitalize and add more items so that I can deliver on that extra value. And that's where we are saying the art of upsell. It's also about, like Chef mentioned, upscaling. How do you
Yeah.
repurpose your existing stuff to upsell?
Yeah, and I think
And
that's important. It is something that I know. I don't know what that was.
yeah,
But I know in the past we're always talking about upselling versus or suggested selling was a big
yeah,
term that came in
yeah,
about 08, 2009-ish, 10,
yeah,
08, around
yeah,
there.
yeah,
We were talking
yeah,
about suggested selling, so suggesting different items to go with your meal to get a higher
yeah,
price point or to get people to have a different experience because they may not order something that they normally have. So,
yeah.
upscaling, I think, is also another great way to look at it, and just creating a whole new experience for our customers.
Yeah, and Jay, what was different in 2008, 9 was, off-premise wasn't so big. So right now you have, close to 14 to 15% of the game off-premise. So that's where it's different, right? When Chef mentioned that we have the apps that play a huge role in upselling. So,
Mhm.
order something. So the server is no longer responsible for suggesting or pushing because the consumer is not in front of them, right? It's the consumer orders through the app. So in that new environment, it's really an interesting challenge of how do you then
Yeah.
upsell. The other idea that we had was this conversation around inventory management, and we know that demand forecasting is not going to be very easy because there is the off premise, and then how many customers are going to come in. We don't know that. It's very difficult to predict that. A large number of operators express that it's difficult, and that's where we are saying that how do you repurpose your existing food and present it differently. And that's where you saw ideas from Chef that how he plated stuff with different
Mhm.
sauces and cheese and still managed to upsell. And yeah, Chef is there. Yeah, so Chef, what have you got next?
So you all were talking about the avocado fries earlier.
Yeah,
So Chef Mark, get a kind of a close up on that. So these are breaded avocado slices. Avocado fries have been, for chef-driven restaurants, people making them by hand. It's been something for the last couple of years, but we've been able to commercialize that and deliver these awesome avocados. We've got this beautiful color on the inside. The cool thing about this is that they also will hold crispy 30, 40 minutes. So again, it's not something that has to
What?
be put to order. They'll say crispy crunchy. So again, thinking about the kitchen, you can get a little bit ahead on things. We play around with a lot of things inside a hot dog bun, but today we're going to make an avocado dog, if you will. So for these guys, it is ballpark season, and then I think a little relish on top, so that brings in some tangy. This is not the glowing green relish of Chicago hot dog, but you get the idea. And then some Thousand Island dressing, which kind of goes backwards a little bit on the upscale,
and
and
that's,
then a
yeah,
little cilantro. So
wow.
certainly vegetarian favorites. We'll be making some extras for the crew here today. To,
Shaker's that a millennial dog?
I think this would do well across, Jay. This would
Would
do
it?
well across. It's a super hit across because it strikes so many boxes. Yeah,
So then we've also got, uh, in terms of loaded fries, here we have loaded avocado fries. So the idea of just taking those, again, they don't have to be super hot right out of the fryer. Load them up onto a tray that can go into the salamander, a little bit of cheese on top. We've got jack cheese here, some bacon, and then we're going to have some chipotle mayo on top. And then also free lunches. So instead of French fries, we'll swap those out for avocado. Certainly something that's shareable. You can make those in the smalls, you can make it in a large, if you're dining with a bubble group. And then we've got one more dish, again, using the avocados. And instead of nachos, we're taking it just a step farther and adding more texture. So we're making a tostada here. Chef Ron's actually put this tostada together. So crispy, crunchy tortilla. Again, these could be racked out already, serving plate tostada, and then it's a quick pickup with shredded cabbage. There's some salsa in there, onion cilantro blend, some of the avocados, a little lime on the side, and then just put a little mayonnaise.
That looks awesome.
We're delivering on that crispy, crunchy texture, and coming to the table, that'd be a beautiful dish. So that wraps it up for the food portion of today. Shaker, do we have any other parts that you wanted to bring to life before we wrap up things?
I think this is all that we had, Chef, with regard to what we want to talk about. I think it's a fantastic finish in the terms of the spread that we have put together, because it speaks to our point on multiple application to our products, and yeah, the range is pretty much visible there. From a slide point of view, I think we have a full plate. Yeah.
I think it's awesome. Just simple ideas. And I'm actually a couple things about McCain's, and I just want to bring up your website again, Shaker, is you guys do so much more than just what we think French fries and the odd appetizer.
Absolutely.
You guys have so many ideas. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's about that line, right? I mean, it brings people together and sharing the joy. So whatever it takes to do that. So snacks and starters, desserts. We also have a very huge portfolio of desserts and snacks, which operators can use. These are like ready to serve, and these do really well on delivery and on premise. So
Yeah. Look, I had to throw this up here because desserts, a lot of people may not think of desserts of what you guys carry, but amazing dessert options there for you as well. But I just am so intrigued by the amount of ideas you guys have when it comes to, what a wicked website, by the way, but just the amount of ideas you guys have for operators that really they may not think of all the time when it comes to McCain's. We're just not always onion rings or fries. You guys do so much more. And you saw that today from all the different things that Chef had done.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. So Chef, thanks again, Chef. You know what? If you look at all those notes down there, that's a lot of work you guys did today. So thank you so much for all the work. We'll get the audio and things like that figured out for our next show. We'll have you back again, and all the hard work really pays off.
Big shout out to Chef Mark and Chef Ron for being behind the scenes, and they're Chef Ron, and running the heavy lifting and such here today too. So yeah, we'll get all the technical parts worked out in advance. Shaker, always good to see you, even if it's virtual. And Jay, it was nice to be here today. Hopefully we spark some ideas that operators can launch into and leverage here really quickly.
Absolutely, and we'll move that down there. We'll have you back again and again and over a million times to show all these ideas. And I know, like, just looking at your website, I'm sure you guys have like millions more that we can do. And Shaker, your insights are awesome. And
thank you.
Really enjoyed you guys having on our show today. So thanks again. For everyone else, you know what? We're going to be back tomorrow. We have Canada Beef, and then we also have another show on Thursday with Maple Leaf, wrapping up their 5th show in a row with us. But we have so much more to come and so many ideas like we saw today with McCain's. You guys rock. Like, those are a lot of cool ideas, and you're more than what we typically see. So go to their website. And please, I think Shaker, we have the website on the bottom there, so you can go and check it out.
Yes.
But look at the product when you're looking at menus, and I tell you, adding additional value, pretty simple, and throwing out a pizza is even simpler. So awesome stuff. So thanks so much, gentlemen, and we will see everyone back again, and we'll see everyone tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you, Jay. Bye bye.